So how was the Sacramento show? What did I do? What did I bring home? Who's this guy and why would I be selling him if he's this beautiful? Stick around and find out. Let's check out this week's video. So welcome back everyone. Obviously if you've paid attention to any of my social media, the Sacramento Reptile show was last weekend, and if you can imagine, it was a good time. Big reptile show with a lot of folks, always a good time. Some cool animals around, saw lots of unique species, white lips, boiga, things like that. Lots of cool invertebrates. Phoenix Herb Society comes out as always and puts on a wonderful display with all their venomous and crocodilians for educational display, not for sale of course. And it was a great time. Always a fun weekend hanging out, vending for the shop, and selling some cages, showing people our wonderful designs of what we build, what we put together, and it was awesome. Sold some animals, met some new folks, saw some old friends I hadn't seen in a while, and it was a good time. So if any of you have ever been on the fence about coming out to the Sacramento show, it is worth it. It's pretty cool. Now, I didn't have a lot to sell because obviously I only have eggs this season, right? You haven't seen anything hatching, it's still kind of early. This is the first time they've done the spring show, but I think it's awesome. They do a fall show as well. I hope they keep them both, so we have 2 a year. That would be pretty rad. So I'm expecting I'll have a good hatch season this year. Maybe come September show we'll vend, but I did end up bringing this guy and another carpet python that was sort of pre-sold. They turned out to be pretty much the only carpet pythons in the show. There were several green tree pythons. There was another vendor that brought some diamonds on display, some younger ones, and that was pretty much it. There weren't any other real carpet pythons, and nobody was really interested in this guy. I mean, most people didn't even know what he was. I'd have him hanging out and they were like, what kind of ball python is that? Nice retic. Is that a corn snake? Very few people knew what a carpet python was, so that was interesting. But he's still here, he is available. I have put him up on Morph Market. This is obviously Twitch, the sire and father of the albino citrus tigers, with the second round of eggs cooking, one of his males being held back and in line for breeding, plus another animal for breeding, plus other project goals. I don't really think I have any future breeding plans for this wonderful boy. So if you're watching this and you're looking for a stud caramel albino striped male breeder or just a great pet, you know where to find me. So he came home from the show. He's awesome. He was a great ambassador for the species. Met a lot of people and showed how chill they can be, which was awesome. So what did I get at the show? Not what you'd expect. Because there weren't any carpet pythons there, wasn't really looking for shopping anything anyway. Didn't really plan on picking anything up. Had a good time, picked up some shirts, some gear from some folks and their businesses. That was pretty rad. Shout out to Nick from Renowned Reptiles and Glenn from Glenn Brooks Reptiles, as well as Reptile Crew. Got some awesome gear from those guys. It's a really cool brand. But I did end up on a whim on Sunday bringing home something kind of random. And if you have any guesses as to what it is based on this, put it in the comments below. Alright, got your guesses in. This is the newest weirdo in my arsenal of weird critters. This is a Goliath beetle. Check him out. Now, what I first showed you was what he pupated out of. These spend about 9 months as larvae, and then they make that cocoon and spend about 3 months in there, and ta-da, here you go. And he came by way of Jay Aldis. If you see on Instagram, he is under SBSF Reptiles, and he peed on me. But these things are cool. They mostly eat bananas, But Jay did set me up with some of these Asian jelly pots that you can get in other countries. They can fly, they do have wings, but from what I've been told, they're pretty mellow and don't really fly too much unless you give them too much opportunity. And being he's a mature male, he's got about a year or so left to live, so I'm going to feed him very sparingly, let him hang out in a cool little setup so he can't really fly too much, so he can't damage his wings or anything. But check that weirdo out. Yeah, Jay is one of the only people in the country with these cool beetles, so look him up on Instagram. He does ship, and you can get some really awesome animals like this. Don't be surprised when you see the prices on them. These things are not common, and they take a long time to raise up properly, so respect the price when you see them if you are interested. But that was literally the only thing I brought home from the show. It was the coolest, weirdest thing I've seen, and I just couldn't help myself. We're gonna get a bunch for the shop, so Sacramento people, keep your eyes peeled. We are gonna be putting a bunch of beetles, hopefully, in that invertebrate room at the shop, so that'll be really cool and coming up. So that's about it for the SAC show. That's all I brought. It's still early in the season, like I said. And I did want to at least just put this out here in this sort of format. I know I share quite a bit and have briefly put out some things on social media regarding the latest tragedy in Florida with the FWC slaughtering and murdering a bunch of legally permitted owned pet snakes. There's a lot of folks who've been saying a lot. There's a lot's been said. I don't think I need to beat this topic down any further than it is. I have full faith and confidence in Florida's USARK Florida and USARK to work with the owners of these snakes and take legal action as necessary against Florida's Fish and Wildlife Commission. I know they've been getting a lot of heat from mainstream media, so I think it's just a matter of time. It's sad that I had to get to this, but I think it's time to finally drain that swamp, so to speak. There's been a lot of atrocities committed that haven't been on camera, so this is just the tip of the iceberg. So I feel for everybody out in Florida who was affected by it directly, and I feel for everybody who was affected by it indirectly. It's got to be a scary thing as a reptile keeper in Florida to see that. I know I personally couldn't watch that video. I've seen enough clips to give me some pretty nasty nightmares. I can't watch that stuff, so it was pretty horrific what those officers did, and I hope they all pay for it. So that's all I'm really going to say on that. There's a lot of much more well-spoken, cooler heads than myself handling it on the forefront as they should be, so I'm not going to mess anything up. Everybody that's out there working against it, I think they're doing a great job. So that being said, all that's left, this is kind of a calm week. Obviously, this is the first video in a little bit where there hasn't been a clutch of eggs pulled. I am expecting in about 2 weeks another clutch, potentially another one after that, and potentially another one a few weeks after that. The brettles are still going strong. We're doing intros, separating, feeding, pairing, separating, feeding, pairing. Females looking big and thick. So if all keeps going well, you know, maybe we'll get some of those this season too. So it's plenty of time, still early. They are spring breeders, so this is perfect time. But that's gonna about do it for us this week here. Don't forget to become a member of USARK. If you aren't already, go sign up, join up. Also become a member of USARK Florida. If you want some awesome 3D printed perching or anything for your snakes, hit up my buddy Chris. I'll put his email or his website link right here. You can also reach out to him on Heli Guy Serpents on Instagram. And if you guys want to get discounts on his stuff, he is running a discount for the rest of this month, but afterwards there's a perpetual discount as a Patreon member for the channel here. So if you want to join the community, get some cool insight into the Morelia world, and just kind of grow with us, as well as get some discounts and access to babies first and things like that, look me up on Patreon. I'll put all that information here for you and in the description. And yeah, that'll just about do it for us here. I hope everyone's having a great spring so far, and I hope their breeding season's going well for everyone. Egg laying season, baby hatching season, whatever species and time of the year you're in, I hope you're enjoying it all. And yeah, coming soon. I should have a Q&A video coming, and hopefully some more clutches laid and more good stuff to keep the season rolling. So thanks for staying tuned. Big shout out to all my patrons. Love you guys, and I will catch you all next time. Cheers.